Hola, ¿qué tal, criaturas nocturnas, caminantes de la noche? Estamos aquí en un capítulo más, seguimos en la extorsión de Whitechapel. Y bueno, ahora nos toca ir a informarle a la otra vampiresa, a Lady Ashbury. Pero antes, estaba viendo aquí la situación. Como aquí el juego es muy interactivo y depende de las cosas que nosotros decidamos, así se va a ir desarrollando el juego y la situación de todas las ciudadelas en las que estemos. Debido a las decisiones que tomé en el capítulo anterior, la salud de básicamente todo, pues la salud de Whitechapel se vio afectada debido a mis decisiones, así que es algo que voy a tratar de solucionar en cuanto sea posible. No sé, quizás porque dejamos vivo a cierta persona, porque le preguntamos esto a la otra, o depende, o sea, hay muchos factores, pero la salud o el estatus de esta ciudad está empeorando debido a mis decisiones, así que vamos a tratar de arreglar la situación. ¿Será que el otro sujeto que le está haciendo bullying, que está al otro vendedor y todo eso, será que él, si lo matamos, mejorará la situación? ¿Tendrá alguna información importante para nosotros ahora? ¿Para quién trabaja? Ya sabemos que trabaja para los sujetos de las botas mojadas, así que vamos a ver qué tal. Bueno, el estado del lugar está crítico, así que vamos a ver en qué podemos ayudar. Este señor tiene bronquitis. Vamos a ver si tenemos tratamiento para la bronquitis. Sí tenemos, así que vamos a ver qué onda. Señor. Oh, ¿qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó con Dorotea? No es su culpa, señor.
Good evening, Mr. Petrescu. What are you doing here?
I could ask you the exact same question, Mr. Doctor. Now leave me alone.
Bueno, entonces preguntémosle acerca de la enfermera. ¿Qué pasó? Vamos a ver.
I heard what happened to Nurse Crane. How do you feel, Mr. Petrescu?
Everything was going well until you arrived. Dorothea helped people and will be sorely missed.
Rayos. Bueno, aquí viene una pregunta. Era buena enfermera, se lo merecía. Yo también quiero salvar a Londres, lo va a decir.
Maybe you should consider the bigger picture. We may not have the same approach, but my priority is the safety of London's citizens.
So you put an end to the operation. Did you put an end to Dorothea as well?
You seem to have a lot on your chest, sir. What's wrong?
I heard you are a famous surgeon. Tell me, what did you do to Dorothea? She was so bright, so clever. Then you made her an empty shell.
I didn't use drugs or medical trickery, Mr. Petrescu. All I did was talk to Nurse Crane. I promise you.
But what happened to her then? After you left, she did not even recognize me. Then she got careless and sick, and I had to flee.
What? En serio, eso hicimos. Creo que así porque ella curaba y atendía a toda la gente de aquí. Como nosotros nos encargamos de ella, seguramente por eso la salud de esta gente se está deteriorando. ¿Qué hará ahora?
What do you plan to do now that Nurse Crane is gone?
I'm not sure. Strange men came to see me after Dorothea's death.
¿Murió?
Strange weapons and very odd stories.
¿Murió?
What kind of stories?
Stories all Romanian children know. It was as if I was home again. Vampires, Mr. Doctor. Vampires.
You believe them? Aren't you too old to hold a weapon or listen to scary stories?
Yes, I am old and alone and will die soon, but if these stories are true, maybe I have found myself another cause.
Murió Dorotea, ¿qué hicimos? ¿Está viendo en la calle?
Are you living on the streets, Mr. Petrescu?
And why not? Those who believe they'll be safe behind walls are blind.
¿Qué hay de su casa?
What about your house?
My house is always open to any poor soul needing a roof. All my work here is lost now that Dorothea is gone, thanks to you.
¿Por qué tan agresivo? Lo entiendo.
Why are you so aggressive?
I remember the night you came here and convinced me to open my door to you, sir. I'd like to punch you right on your chops.
Rayos, lo entiendo. Bueno, lo menos que puedo hacer es darle medicina.
How do you feel, Mr. Petrescu? Do you need my help?
I would not even accept fresh water from you, Doctor. I don't need your help.
Voy a administrar medicamento igual.
Yes, you do. Please, take this. You'll feel better.
I said I don't want anything. But I'll keep this for those who really need it.
How do you feel, Mr. Petrescu? Do you need my help?
I need nothing from you.
Goodbye, Mr. Petrescu.
Lo siento, ahora me siento mal. No puedo creer lo que le hicimos a Dorothea. Pero es que si nos hacíamos los locos iba a seguir extorsionando a Ashbury.
When science fails you, this elixir will give you faith again.
Bueno, vamos a recorrer aquí las calles, a ver si encontramos algo aquí. Personas que curar o lo que sea. Es evidente que hicimos algo mal. Voy a tratar de solucionarlo lo más que se pueda.
Swanborough cordial can be the answer to all your problems, as long as you have the money.
Resfriado.
Talking about this.
Mr. Bates.
Evening, Doctor.
Since I took an oath to help people, can I be of assistance?
Well, seen better days, that's for sure. But it was bound to happen with all these refugees about.
Vamos a darle medicamento, pues.
Infecting you is probably the last thing on these people's minds. Take this, in any case.
What? You give me this for free? Don't have a clue about this place, do you?
Está bien.
Goodbye, Mr. Bates.
Está en recuperación. ¿Alguien más?
I can't believe I'm doing this.
En serio, matamos a Dorothea. Vamos a ver qué onda. Una escal parpadeante. Son dos. ¿A dónde vas? ¿A dónde vas? ¿Qué está pasando? No van a vencer ustedes, criaturas. perros. Escrito de mujer. Que no sea la doctora Crane, por favor. Por Dios. No, ¿qué hicimos, Dios? No lo voy a atacar o... No lo puedo matar. ¿Qué pasó ahí? No entiendo qué pasó ahí, pero bueno. Vamos a buscar más personas a las que ayudar. No puede ser. No, matamos a Dorotea. Debí dejarla viva, pero bueno, ese es el peso de este juego, las decisiones que tomamos nos van a perseguir. Es como la vida real, ¿no? Y qué gran mérito este título por hacer esto precisamente. Está, pues, gracias por decirlo, es precisamente lo que voy a ir a ver ahora. Está para allá, pero vamos a ver si encontramos algo aquí. No, bueno, aquí no. Ahí solo hay de aquellos alborotadores, dijeron. Bueno, vamos a investigar al Colossus. ¿Qué onda?
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never lose your focus, do you?
Vamos a preguntarle, pues, ¿a que Joe era su amigo?
Joe Peterson. He's the villain here, isn't he? But you seem to know each other.
I'd known Joe for years. I saw him box once or twice. He was a friend then. But these days, he's just another thug.
¿Cuál es la historia de Joe?
What can you tell me about Mr. Peterson? Besides his behavior toward you, obviously.
Colossus Joe was a decent boxer, good one even. But after his wife passed away, he found every excuse to stop training. Just wanted to pick fights with everyone.
Pregunta. Ser un duelo nunca es fácil, la desesperación puede ser un veneno. Es solo un cobarde. O sea, es lo del duelo.
It's never easy to find a new path in life, especially after the loss of a loved one. But crime is certainly not the best option.
We've all had some rough times, ain't we? But most of us don't use our fists to see us through.
Nunca nadie lo ha enfrentado.
And no one has ever stood up to this thug.
Nobody would be fool enough to stand against a wet boot boy.
Está bien. Esto está saludable.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Lewis.
Vamos a tratar de sacarlo del mal paso, si no
You again? What do you
nos
want this
encargamos de
time?
él. No tenemos pistas. No le podemos preguntar nada,
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Este señor tenía fatiga ahí.
Good evening, Doctor. Can I help you?
Do you need assistance?
That would be nice of you, Doctor. Who knows what I may have caught during my investigation.
Démosle pues, solo para que siga haciendo su buen trabajo.
If you persist in investigating the most pox-ridden boroughs of London, you must accept the risks.
Thank you, sir.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell.
Vamos a ver qué hay aquí. Ah, bueno, aquí es donde está la moda, ¿no? Vamos a ver si le podemos sacar algo.
Hello again, miss. I know you understand what I'm saying.
Preguntémoslo por la Crane, por la Dorothy Crane.
Melia, I know you work for Dorothy Crane. Please tell me about her secret dispensary. A stubborn and mute comrade. Nurse Crane and Darius Petrescu have been clever.
Y no va a decir
Very
nada.
well. Goodbye then.
Está bien. Solo veamos hasta aquí el... Ah, ya no está el poeta, Ah, bien, está ya, pero está saludable. A menos que tenga algo que decirnos. Vamos a ver.
Good evening, Mr. Nethercott.
And good evening to you too, my good sir. Can I be of any help?
La florista muda es parte de un plan.
Did you know the mute florist is a member of a secret society?
No, I didn't. But I thank you for this information, sir. For it only enriches the mystery surrounding the precious camellia.
¿No tiene curiosidad?
Are you not curious? Is there not more you wish to know?
That girl has not an ounce of malice in her. Whatever she may be hiding, it's certain to be for the benefit of most, if not all.
Usted es un romántico incurable.
I fear you are a hopeless romantic, Mr. Nethercott.
Guilty as charged, Dr. Reed.
Está bien.
I'll leave you alone, sir.
A ver, no habíamos ido nunca más hasta más allá, Bueno, aquí ya no hay más que matones. Bueno, regresémonos pues. Aquí había... Esto tiene fatiga.
Pay me a glass and I'll be gentle. Pay me a bottle and I'll be nasty.
Good evening, Christina.
Change your mind, Mr. Reed?
A ver... Ahí está. Tenemos una.
Clayton Darby claims he will expose the crisis in Whitechapel to all of London. Do you believe him?
I believe Clayton's courage will erode with time, until he finally leaves Whitechapel to start another fight somewhere else.
¿Por qué tanto escepticismo?
Why this skepticism?
How can you speak about starvation if you've never been hungry? Or about poverty? Or anything else you have never suffered from?
¿Habla por propia experiencia?
Are you talking from experience?
I've seen your type come here to get a good fuck in a cheap room or a dark alley before going back to their fancy houses in the West End.
Está bien, pues.
Do you need any assistance, Miss Popper?
It depends on the price of your medicine.
I am shocked that you would think I am that sort of man.
Forgive my suspicion. I'm so used to liars with good manners. Thank you, sir.
Está bien.
Goodbye, miss. Take care of yourself as best you can.
Por aquí había otro. Ah, son estos. Bueno, no nos queda de otra más que regresar. Es que ¿será que me encargo de él? Debería encargarme de él. Había una puerta ahí que no había visto antes, I
have this thirst for blood. Hello, young man. I'm Dr. Reed, and I would like to ask you a few questions. May I enter, please?
Sorry, no, sir. My father does not like people entering our house, you see.
Ah, bueno. Déjeme entrar.
Your father is worried about you, boy. He asked me to look for you.
So my father actually worries about me then? Okay then. Come on in. I'm Harry, by the way. Is there only pain and suffering in this
Mucho
world?
gusto, Harry.
So, may I ask you a few questions?
I'm not bothered. What could be worse?
¿Cómo se siente?
How do you feel?
I'm fine. I mean, it's not easy every day, but I'm fine. I'm just tired of being sick all the time. If only I could be tough like...
Que no le habíamos dado ya para la fatiga.
Speaking of which, what can you tell me about your father?
My father is an idiot who makes idiot things. That's all I have to say.
Tiene anemia.
Forgive my bluntness, young man, but you don't seem happy living in Whitechapel.
Why should I? I never wanted to come here in the first place. It was my father's decision. And look around you. Does this look like a nice place to live?
Tiene un lugar que puede llamar su hogar. Su situación solo puede mejorar. Su padre hizo lo mejor que pudo. Bueno.
I'm sure your father did his best when he found this house. Times are tough for everyone, young man.
That's exactly what my father says. Harry, you should be grateful for what you've got. But I wasn't even consulted when we moved here.
Porque simplemente no se va de este lugar.
If life here is so terrible for you, why don't you just leave this place? Have you ever spoken to your father about it?
I don't go outside. It terrifies me so. I went outside once without my father noticing and I saw terrible things. Bloody and frightening things.
So that's why you stay at home all day? For fear of the epidemic?
I'm not afraid of disease or death, Dr. Reed. It's the living I'm afraid of.
Hace bien. Acerca de Barrett Lewis y su padre.
Your father and Mr. Lewis used to be good friends. What happened, Harry?
I was young then. I don't remember Mr. Lewis ever coming back again after my mother died. Or was it after my father started bullying him? I don't know.
O sea, este es otro, sé que se parece al otro, que le habíamos dado ya la medicina de... El que se parecía... Bueno, el que se quería unir a las botas mojadas y su padre tenía jaqueca. Los confundí. ¿Habló con el señor Lewis?
Have you tried speaking to Mr. Lewis about it?
I don't go out often, but yes. And he scolded me and told me to leave him alone. I guess my father frightens him too much.
No es culpable de las acciones de su padre.
But you are not responsible for your father's actions.
Am I not? Dad always says that he joined that gang for my safety. So if I wasn't born, people wouldn't be worrying about Colossus Joe.
Este es el hijo de Coloso, hombre, rayos. Vamos a ver estas preguntas. Ya estamos. Te voy a ayudar, colega, te voy a ayudar.
Do you need any medical help, young man?
Yes, I do. I feel so tired. I don't know if it's the epidemic, but everything seems so hard.
You'll feel better with this. But you need to get a grip, young man. Medication alone won't cure melancholia.
I'm not sure I'm happy with the idea of living long in a world like this. But I thank you for your concern, sir.
Ahí estamos, pues.
Goodbye, young man. Take care of yourself.
Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
Perdón por chutear su casa, joven, pero...
It's locked, all right.
Carta de rechazo a la postulación. Estimado señor Peterson, es mi deber informarle que hemos rechazado su postulación para un trabajo en el astillero. Debo agradecerle por el tiempo que pasó en nuestra oficina explicando las dificultades de su situación con su hijo enfermo y la pérdida de su amada esposa. Pero también es mi deber señalar que la policía de nuestra compañía prohíbe expresamente dar empleo a exdelincuentes o convictos. Hemos tomado debida nota de sus desafortunadas relaciones con los notorios muchachos de las botas mojadas. Son tiempos difíciles, señor. Y la intención de Finch y Harper es recompensar primero a los candidatos que se recuperen de la pequeña investigación que nos gusta realizar sobre nuestros futuros empleados. Tiene toda mi solidaridad. Que Dios ampare a usted y a su familia. O sea, en el fondo sigue siendo una buena persona, ¿no? O sea, si lo hubiéramos matado no hubiéramos descubierto todo esto. Y acerca de su hijo y todo, pero bueno, vamos a tratar de convencerlo de que se salga de ahí o algo. Tranquilícese, joven, y pase buena noche. Tranquilícese. Vamos a tratar de sacar a su papá de ahí.
Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
You again? What do you want this time?
Porque estoy trabajando para una pandilla.
Why do you keep on working for the gang, Joe? You know it doesn't suit you.
It's true, I hate this job. And I know I made some bad choices, but I'm a wet boot boy now. People won't forget it.
You could leave tomorrow. Start another life in another town.
That's easy for you to say, Doctor. We are poor. My son's weak. And there's no way he'll endure another disappointment.
Harry no está contento viviendo en Whitechapel.
Harry doesn't seem happy living in Whitechapel. Why did you make him come here?
I've always put my son's interests above everything else, whatever he may think. Our house is small but affordable. The walls are thin, but the door is solid.
You really love your son, don't you, Mr. Peterson?
He's my pride and joy. Even if he hates me for the choices I make and pushes me buttons more than he should.
¿No se arrepiente de nada?
Do you have any regrets?
Only one. Not to have my beloved wife by my side. She died when Harry was little. My sweet Jane. She gave the boy confidence.
¿No tienen miedo de que lo arresten?
Since the criminal nature of your job means you could be arrested, are you not afraid of what would happen to your boy if you were?
No one will ever take my son away from me. If that ever occurred, I'd hunt the bastard down and rip off his head with my bare hands.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Poco a poco estamos tratando de...
Good evening, Harry. May I come in?
Sure. Sure. Even my dreams are soaked with gloom.
So, may I ask you a few questions?
I'm not bothered. What could be worse?
Su padre intentó encontrarle un trabajo honesto.
Would it ease tensions with your father if he got an honest job? Because he tried, you know.
I can't say. I'd be glad if he dropped his thuggish activities, but I'm not sure it would be enough.
Why is that?
Sometimes I suspect it's me, Dr. Reed. Or it's this life. It's like I can't find my place.
Nos hacen falta pistas.
Goodbye, young man. Take care of yourself.
Si se puede, vamos a ver qué onda con el señor.
Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
¿Qué se hizo el matón? Señor, ¿qué se hizo el matón?
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never lose your focus, do you?
Vamos a preguntarle acerca de la salud de Harry.
What do you know of Harry Peterson? The boy seems so fragile. Not like his father at all.
Harry's a good boy, but he spends most of his time complaining. He's had it tough, all right, but he needs to grow a pair.
What troubles him exactly?
Well, despite being his father's son, almost everything, I think. He never wanted to come to Whitechapel in the first place. Hates this place more than most of us.
Ya veo.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Lewis.
Cheap price, good quality. Come on, take a look. Don't be afraid.
Hard to pay, one way or another.
Cheap price, good quality. Come on, take a look. Don't
You again? What do you want this time?
Es que ya no tengo más,
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Estamos tratando de hacer lo mejor que podemos, ¿Así quién es?
The Swanborough cordial can be the
yeah.
answer to all your problems. As long as you have the money.
Para la migraña, ¿qué es lo que necesitamos? Ah, con este era que lo había confundido yo, Pues parecen un montón, ¿no?
How are you, boy?
I'm not your boy, all right? Now piss off.
Goodbye, young man.
Aquí abajo estaba lleno de esos... Oh, rayos. Bueno, hay que se encarguen los de aquí, ¿no? Sí. Que son muy útiles.
Human blood. Whoever left these marks did so deliberately.
Bueno, que comience el show, pues. Una rata. Primero al gordo. Bueno, menos. Bueno, ya no lo necesito. Muere. Ahí está, mueren perros. Bueno, falta uno. ¿Cómo se aleja? Me tiene miedo. Bueno, ya. Estable, ya no están en óptimas condiciones porque matamos a la enfermera Dorothy, rayos. ¿Estos qué estarán haciendo ahí? Están cargarnos de ellos antes de... ¿Qué es esto? Una carta. Ah, caray. Misión de relevamiento, 25 de octubre. De puesto de comando de la guardia de Preview. Patrullas del East End. Asunto, actividad de vampiros. Hospital, relevamiento, investigación. Hace 3 días, uno de nuestros nuevos reclutas escuchó el rumor de que la presencia de una mujer vampiro en el hospital de Pembroke está en el East End en Londres. Todo lo que sabemos es su nombre de pila, Thelma. Su misión es ir hasta allí discretamente y observar cualquier actividad sospechosa relacionada con dicha alimaña. Luego debe informarle directamente para que podamos decidir el curso de la acción a seguir. ¡Oh! Estos son los que están vigilando a la loquita. Bueno, vamos a darle la noticia que ya nos encargamos de sus captores. Démosle su cura para la fatiga, porque si una enfermedad no menos tienen que trabajar más.
Such a pleasure to see you again.
Do you need medical attention?
Well, the proximity of the dead is not the most healthy company, even if the quiet can be appreciated.
Bueno, démonos un medicamento.
Don't take too many risks with your health, Mr. Chidana. None of us are immune to this disease.
And that is a good thing. Death and disease is a constant reminder of our mortality. But you have my thanks, Dr. Reed.
Goodbye, Mr. Chidana.
Es mi culpa que estos están trabajando de más. Pero bueno. Señora, tengo noticias.
Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich, vibrant blood.
Cuénteme sobre los vampiros.
Tell me, Thelma, what do you really know about vampires?
I saw one and he saw me. I watched him hunt and kill. I saw his terrible wounds heal as his victim died. And then I knew I was saved.
You mean you actually saw a vampire? Here in London?
Yes. And it has been the answer to my pain. I must drink and kill to regenerate my decaying body. I am a vampire too.
Usted es una delirante. No sabe nada sobre vampiros. Podría estar en peligro, lo es.
You have no idea what problems your claim could cause if heard by the wrong people, Miss Howcroft. You must stop this nonsense now.
Why fear the truth? Strange things live in the dark, Dr. Reed. Strange and ancient beings that were here before this island even had a name.
¿Qué eso es todo?
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Le hubiera dicho que no sabe nada de vampiros, entonces me hubiera interesado. Pero bueno, ya está.
Good evening, Mr. Elwood.
Evening, Dr. Reed.
Soldier, do you need assistance?
Not really. I think I caught something in this bloody hospital. I swear I'm dead, yet smiling inside, Dr. Reed.
As long as you remain here, I will make sure you don't have to worry about your health.
Don't think you can do much about it. Damage is done.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Soul.
¿Cómo está, señora?
Liars and thieves, every last one of them.
Ah, no quiero hablar. Bueno, no, pues.
Spare your obedient slave.
Doctora. Digo, enfermera.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Do you require medical assistance, nurse?
I will be fine. As soon as I can get some sleep.
Nurse, you won't be able to help people if you're sick. Take this, and do try to get some rest.
I'll try, Dr. Reed. Thank you.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Oh.
Hey, Doc.
You're lucky to be alive, Mr. Cox. I hope you're starting to take better care of yourself.
This place is full of sickness and decay. How could I get better in such a dump?
Está bueno, tome su medicamento.
Consider yourself lucky that I'm treating all of my patients equally. But don't push your luck.
Don't play the innocent with me. I'm sure you have good reasons to act this way. And also weaknesses that can be exploited.
How long do you think you can escape the law, Clay?
I know this city like the back of my hand, Doc. I know its streets, who to pay, who to avoid, and who to bully. I won't get caught.
The police may be slow, but they will find you eventually.
Well, how come you didn't turn me in then? Nah, Doc, I figure you have something to hide so you can't ask the coppers for help.
I'll leave you for now, Mr. Cox.
Estos estaban por aquí abajo. Ah, caray, ahí está. O sea, ¿qué dicen estos?
Sometimes you act like a real jerk, you know that?
Oh, come on, Ozzy, don't be like that.
What, like what? Like someone who felt betrayed by the man he loves? Did you ever even try to find me? Rescue me?
You know, it's not like that. I wanted to. I was so afraid to leave the hospital, not to be seen with you.
We survived this shit together. That's all that matters. I know you did your best. Fuck the wall, right? And fuck them all.
Fuck the wall. Fuck them all.
Hello again, Mr. Thatcher. Do you feel any better now?
Yes, this neighborhood may stink of dog shit and reek of piss, but to me it smells like the purest mountain air.
¿Tiene trabajo?
Mr. Thatcher, do you have a job?
No. Since I came back from the war, I spent most of my time and energy just trying to forget.
I understand what you mean. I was a soldier too.
No. Nobody can truly understand what I've gone through.
¿Por qué lo encerraron?
Why were you locked in that sewer? What happened?
I went by the canal after an argument with a friend. Got chased by these fucking wankers and had to barricade myself in, despite my claustrophobia.
Claustrophobia?
Tell me about your claustrophobia. Has anyone given you an official diagnosis?
That's what the bloody doctors said. But I don't want to go to a hospital to get checked again. I'll deal with it my own way.
¿Y cuál fue el motivo de la discusión?
Why did you run? What was the reason for your argument?
Newton wanted me to go to a hospital. I can't stand being closed in. Makes me feel like I'm suffocating.
Bueno.
Goodbye, Mr. Thatcher. Try to take care of yourself.
No, vamos por...
Good evening.
Por
evening, Doctor.
Que no va al hospital.
Oswald, why did you not go to the Pembroke Hospital to seek medical help?
I don't trust doctors. All they care about was their careers and processes. I won't be locked in any room again by anyone.
Your fear of being trapped is not going to go away by itself. You need professional help.
I've seen enough butchers in white coats to last a lifetime. Hospitals reek of chemicals and death. What I need is fresh air.
Vamos a ver qué onda. Sus sentimientos por Newton.
Do you want to talk about why you have this fear of being enclosed, Mr. Thatcher?
No, I really don't.
An irrational fear like yours is usually rooted in a specific event. Perhaps it would help to talk about it.
Well, Doctor, take a guess then, if you're so interested in my case.
¿Es la culpa del soldado? ¿Fue su infancia? ¿Lo sepultaron? Fue su infancia, lo va a preguntar.
Perhaps you were trapped or locked in somewhere as a child. The horror of war could have brought this memory back to the surface.
Are you joking? I grew up on a farm. I had a bloody fantastic childhood.
Somos muy malos.
Tell me about your true feelings for Newton.
I love him. I'm not ashamed to say it. He's the best thing that ever happened to me. I can't imagine life without him.
¿Y por qué debería de avergonzarse?
Why should you be ashamed?
I'm not, I said. But Newton sees it differently.
Admiro su honestidad.
I admire your honesty. It takes courage to stand up to society. The world needs people like you to create change.
Courage is what we needed in the trenches, looking death in the face every day. I speak plain. I speak my mind.
Have you always been this straightforward?
All I know is, before you saved me by the sewer, my only regret was I wouldn't be able to hold or kiss Newton again. I love him, that's all.
Está bien.
Do you want to talk about why you have this fear of being enclosed, Mr. Thatcher?
No, I really don't.
An irrational fear like yours is usually rooted in a specific event. Perhaps it would help to talk about it.
Well, Doctor, take a guess then if you're so interested in my case.
Perhaps you were trapped or locked in somewhere as a child. The horror of war could have brought this memory back to the surface.
Are you joking? I grew up on a farm. I had a bloody fantastic childhood.
Goodbye, Mr. Thatcher. Try to take care of yourself.
Rayos, perdimos una pista. ¿Dónde está el otro? ¿Quién está gritando "Get off me now"? Ese es el que está alegando, ¿no?
Hello again, Mr. Blight. I'm happy to see Mr. Thatcher is safe, for now.
I'm eternally grateful, Doctor. We were total strangers and you helped us anyway. Can't thank you enough, sir.
Cuénteme sobre la guerra.
What can you tell me about the war, Mr. Blight? If you want to speak about it, of course.
War was... well, you know, sir. The stench of death everywhere. Your mates lying bleeding in the mud. Just praying to make it through and get home. Bloody nightmare.
Yo también combatí en Francia.
I fought in France, too. I served as a field surgeon, but it was not uncommon to repel an assault, especially at night.
Yeah. The first time I was wounded, I had to protect the infirmary from hostiles. Twice.
¿Ya conocí a Oswald?
Did you know Oswald Thatcher before the war?
No. We met in the battlefield. I think we were in the same boat to France. We've stuck together ever since.
Está bien. ¿Por qué sigue aquí?
Why do you stay here now that Mr. Thatcher's back?
It's complicated. Since the war, Oswald's been really nervous with the idea of entering any hospital. And me, I've got my own issues.
Can you speak about them?
Rats, sir. Even seeing one, they turn me. Just want to run. It's that fear that stopped me from going after Oswald when he left.
Vaya al Hospital Pembroke.
You are always welcome at the Pembroke Hospital. As a former officer, I'll be honored to welcome a fellow veteran.
I'm not giving up on bringing Oswald back to the hospital. I just need to convince him that he needs some help.
Perhaps he needs to reach that decision by himself.
Could you speak to him? He doesn't usually listen to doctors, but perhaps because you've been through it, you can talk him round.
Podría intentarlo. Hábleme de su fobia de las ratas.
What caused your phobia of rats, Newton?
It happened last year following an artillery attack. I was trapped for 2 days in a hole under 2 dead soldiers. And there were rats.
Go on.
They started eating me as soon as I dozed. Gnawing at my ears, my fingers, lips. I couldn't move. Couldn't call for help.
I see.
No, you don't. You have no idea what it is to wake up buried under bodies. Fucking vermin eating your flesh. Oswald. He found me and saved me.
Dígame lo que siente por el señor Oswald Thatcher.
How do you feel about Oswald Thatcher? You are more than friends, aren't you?
I love him. I love Oswald. We knew we wouldn't survive the war without each other. But I am terrified, Doctor.
What frightens you so much?
What if people find out? Oswald says I'm ashamed, but it ain't that. It's more, well, you know. Never thought I'd love a man.
No diré ni una palabra, solo puedo advertirle que tenga cuidado, disfruten su amor. Vamos a ganarnos su confianza, le voy a decir que no diré ni una palabra.
I won't say a word, Mr. Blight. Your secret is safe with me.
I fought for my country and I survived. I saw my comrades die. And now society tells me I'm a criminal for who I love. It makes me so angry.
Está bien.
Goodbye, Mr. Blight. Take care of yourself.
Vamos a ver si lo logro convencer, pues.
Good evening.
Evening, Dr. Reed.
Acerca de los sentimientos de Newton.
Newton is conflicted about his feelings towards you. Would you like to talk about it, Oswald?
It makes me sad and angry. It feels like the beautiful thing we have is somehow tainted. It hurts to see him so lost.
His love for you is genuine. I'm certain he wasn't lying to me when he expressed his feelings for you.
Newton still has to accept it, knowing he'll be seen as a queer, a fairy, less than a man in those simple-minded bigots' eyes. Though he's more of a man than they'll ever be, so fuck them all.
Aquí es donde perdimos esa pista, Bueno.
Goodbye, Mr. Thatcher. Try to take care of yourself.
Is this supposed to be an hospital? A pigsty would smell better.
Bueno, ayudémoslo, pues al final somos doctores.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
Do you need any medical help, Milton?
I'm afraid I do. Like everyone in this hospital. It's a sad state of affairs when even the hospital workers are worried about disease.
Our job brings us into contact with all kinds of infections, Milton. There's no shame in being ill while you're in a hospital.
That's easy for you to say, Doctor. I get the feeling you don't fall sick often. But thanks anyway.
Goodbye, Milton.
Bueno, démosle la información, pues. ¿Y aquí por qué está cerrado? Ah, bueno.
I would ask you to avert your eyes, sir. Or did you not know it was rude to stare?
I knew it.
Speak up, Dr. Reed. I like a man who speaks his mind.
Él confiaba en usted. Al final de cuentas, usted es una asesina. La compasión solo oculta su apetito. Él confiaba en usted.
You killed him. He trusted you. And you killed him.
Spare me your sarcasm, Jonathan. You are but newly born in this world.
Entonces, ¿la acusación era fundada?
So in the end, the accusation was true, wasn't it?
The situation is somewhat awkward nonetheless. I have not been observed sustaining myself for many decades. I have to say I'm a trifle embarrassed.
Anyway, I have concluded my inquiries concerning your blackmailer.
I see. Please excuse my agitated state. Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't let anyone see me in this condition.
The case is closed, your ladyship. The person who took advantage of you has, shall we say, seen the error of her ways.
So who was it?
My lady, the blackmailer was dealt with using the utmost discretion. The culprit's identity is of no relevance.
Thank you, Jonathan. That is exactly what I needed from you. You have proven your loyalty, so, as a friend, please accept this small token of my appreciation.
Thank you, my lady.
If you have an inclination to learn more about vampires or your current situation, I will be glad to aid you in your quest for knowledge.
Sí, de hecho ya, ahora mismo. Soy un vampiro.
A vampire? Is that what I am? What we are?
Such a crude word, defined by penny dreadfuls and drunken hacks. No. You are now an Ekon, and that you shall remain.
Un Ekon es un vampiro?
So we are Ekons. How can I identify us amongst other vampires?
How to put it? All Ekon are vampires, but all vampires are not Ekon. We are but a branch of the immortal tree.
¿Usted es un Ekon?
Are you an Ekon too?
Yes, I am. We are the closest thing to what man refers to as vampires. Forget what you think you know about us.
¿Por qué pensaron que estaba muerto?
I don't understand. Why was I created and then left for dead?
That is a question only the one who made you can answer. It's not normal practice. I doubt even if you find him, he will answer you, considering how cruelly he treated you.
¿Podría ser un error?
So me being a vampire could have been a mistake.
I very much doubt it, Jonathan. Contrary to the legends, it is not as simple to make another vampire by just biting someone.
¿Cómo se crean los vampiros?
I'd like to avoid creating another vampire by mistake anyway. Tell me, how is it done?
The process is dangerous. It could even kill your potential progeny. If you did decide to sire an offspring, they must drink of your blood, Jonathan.
Como en las crónicas vampíricas de Anne Rice, ¿ah? Hay una voz en mi cabeza, ha de ser del creador.
I've been hearing a voice talking in my head. Is this some kind of insanity? It feels like the voice of the vampire that created me.
Hush. Tell no one this. It would be unwise to talk of such things amongst British immortals. Speak no more of your maker.
¿Cómo podría ofender eso?
How could this cause offense?
Only the powerful immortals can mentally call to their progeny. No vampire or hunter will sleep easy, knowing that an unidentified elder is stalking the streets of London.
¿Es usted mi creadora?
Excuse my forwardness, but are you my maker?
Me? Goodness, no. Only a foolish immortal would create a progeny without taking precaution, and I'm no fool.
Está bien. Acerca de usted, señora mía. ¿Su encía le permite matar?
Why does Dr. Swansea allow you to feed on the patients of the hospital?
Dr. Swansea is a good and compassionate man. He is trying to find a solution for our hunger. Until that happens, he is clever enough to understand that I only feed upon the dying.
¿Conoce su hermandad?
What do you know about this Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole?
The Brotherhood is well known amongst London vampire society. As long as our kind is discreet, and as long as they do not interfere, we have come to a mutual understanding.
¿Nadie sospechaba de usted?
And no one suspected you of the murders.
As you well know, suspicion has recently fallen on me of killing for pleasure. But you have my word, Jonathan. I take no pleasure in taking a life.
¿Por qué me salvó?
Why did you save me in the canning factory?
I could hardly stand by and watch such a promising young blood as yourself be torn to shreds by some gutter scowl.
William no me creó. Bueno, ¿qué es una escala?
What type of vampire is a Skal?
Not a true vampire. The deformed offspring of lesser vampires. It is a shame these creatures run wild, slaves to their baser instincts.
William no me creó.
William Bishop wasn't the vampire that created me then?
No, Jonathan. Whatever their strength and demeanor, Skals are the progeny of careless vampires. It cannot be the other way round.
¿Cuántos años tiene?
I know this is beyond the pale, but may I inquire your age?
Really? And I thought you were gentlemen. If you must know, I'm 27. I've been 27 for a long time now, and 27 I shall remain.
Ok, eso no es toda la verdad.
Very well, but I believe there is more to this than you are saying.
A lady has to have some secrets.
¿Quién le otorgó la juventud eterna?
And who bestowed upon you this eternal youth?
My maker. He left this isle a long time ago.
Bueno, acerca de Londres, pues. ¿Qué sucedió con Londres?
I've been away from London and England for 3 years. This isn't the city I remember.
Things have gone from bad to worse here, Jonathan. I've lived in this city for a long time, and I've never seen it like this.
¿La gripe española provocó esto?
The Spanish flu has hit London that bad.
Yes, but it's not just that. I've heard things. Things I've not heard for a very, very long time. There are whispers in the shadows. Something far worse than the Spanish flu is here in the city.
¿A qué le teme?
What is it you fear?
Fear has long since flown this form. But there is something malevolent circling us. I feel fear is merely waiting in the wings.
Conocí unos cazadores de vampiros.
When I awoke, changed, I was chased and attacked by vampire hunters. Prepared and well-trained.
Though I can't be certain, more than likely it was the once glorious Guard of Priwen.
¿Alguna vez gloriosa?
Once glorious, but still dangerous.
They have seen better days, but all fanatics are dangerous. You would be wise to stay clear. They are sworn to destroy our kind.
¿Es un culto?
You make them sound like some sort of cult.
More a society, and like all the best ones, a secret society. I thought them almost gone, but it seemed they have been recruiting.
Como en Legacy of Kain, ¿huh? ¿Cuántos vampiros en Londres?
Are there many vampires here in London?
Immortals are of a rare breed, and we often tend to hide. But you may occasionally meet some of us at night.
¿Quién me atacó?
Do you know any of them? Have you an idea of the identity of the vampire who attacked me?
You mean your maker? No, Jonathan, I have no clue. But I fear he or she is as careless as cruel. To let you discover your new condition by yourself.
What do you mean?
Every now and then, You may discover an immortal in the deep of the night, but we are a rare and reclusive breed. Our progeny is almost never accidental.
¿Todos serán amigables?
Will they all be as affable as you, my lady?
I do not see why not. But remember, even the shark smiles before he bites.
That sounds like a lesson from experience.
Vampire politics are as intricate and sometimes tedious as a game of chess in a gentleman's club. I've learned from experience it is best to decline to play.
I bid you farewell.
Bueno.
For now, my lady. I must quickly analyze the blood I took from Nurse Crane's patient.
Bueno, está bien, vamos a analizar la sangre y vamos a crear un par de cosas para la fatiga para esta gente. Quiero ver si tenemos algo para la fatiga, para entregarle aquí al doctor malhumorado, al Grumpy Doctor.
I'm quite busy right now, Dr. Reed.
Ya no tengo nada para...
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
¿Quieres saber? Bueno, analicemos la muestra, pues.
Razvan Vasily was infected by Spanish flu, but also has the highly unstable blood of the Skulls. Is the London vampire epidemic transmitted through the flu? I should talk to Dr. Swansea about it.
Bueno, terminamos aquí. Y dejamos ahí la situación. Mañana le preguntamos al Dr. Swansea a ver qué sucede. Y eso fue todo. Muchísimas gracias por acompañarme. Y hasta la próxima.